In a mood right now. Said we ready. I can't work out no way I can't fix. I want some rum, I want some girls, I want some weed. I want.
Well, here we are, and I did promise you that I was going to make sure that I bring the man with all the answers to your question on this afternoon. And he was kind enough to say, okay, yeah, we're doing this. So certainly, welcome to our drop-in for this afternoon, man. It's a beautiful Friday here. A little overcast in my area, but we're good. We're good. We're all right. We love this. You understand? A little rain every now and again is not bad at all. It's just the right thing that we need to cool down in this all this heat. And don't forget, we bring in a lot of heat here on a daily basis. You already know what time it is. So it's time for us to go on over. I'm already live, so if you'd like, you can go on over on the live, and you can get a little bit up close and personal with the conversation this afternoon. We've got Shaggy on here, and we are going to be talking IMC. Of course, Shaggy is the chairman of the Island Music Conference, and the best person, to be able to shed light on the conference, what it means for persons who attend, why industry players should try their very best at most to try to be part of an Island Music Conference at any given time. I mean, even if you can't make it this time, you definitely need to start putting plans in place to get yourself there by next year or the other one, because it's vital. A pool like that being created for our Caribbean people, our Caribbean industry people, boy, it's priceless. And better so from somebody who understands the business from our standpoint, but has also had the privilege and the opportunity and the experience of being able to experience it on a very high level on the international scale as well. So I think that is the perfect balance to bring it together in the middle and make it make sense. Absolutely. So I got Shaggy on the line. We're going right away. We're pulling right up right now. Good afternoon. What's going on, fam?
Well, go on, my good man.
It says, where are you in Jamaica?
I am in Miami right now.
I say that. He said you look like you're in the cold, man.
Yeah, I'm in the studio. No, well, the AC in here is popping, so to speak.
Okay.
But nice.
Very well. Well, it's certainly an honor again to connect with you. This time around, we connected on a different vibe because you wear many hats. You wear a lot of many hats. The last time we connected, we were doing a release of a song, but this time it's quite critical, Shaggy, because since I made mention a couple of years ago, last year, mostly so last year before as well, we made mention of the Island Music Conference on my show. A lot of industry players have showed interest, and they started to ask questions. And poor me, it's me they bombarding with the question, and I don't know the answer. So. You pay for your fastness, so here I am, because I thought it was such a noble thing. I understand the merit of having something of that magnitude for our people. So I got excited and I run ahead of myself, Shaggy, and I jump in and I start to talk about Island Music Conference, only to figure out when they started coming with the questions, I didn't have the right answer. Yeah. So I said, you know what, but thankfully Judy came on board last year, and she she enlightened me a little bit more, so I had a little bit more to share with them. And I think some of our creatives actually did come to the Island Music Conference from St. Lucia last year, and a lot more have been showing interest. And I think it's a perfect opportunity because so much happens at that platform. And you're the best man, I believe. Like I said in my preamble, you have an understanding of the both worlds. Yeah. So you know exactly what it is we're trying to achieve here. So you would know what we need to put in place to achieve that. So let me just say thank you for making yourself available to discuss that and to answer the question I couldn't answer. So thank you for that.
Yes.
Well, welcome. Let's talk Island Music Conference. As a chairman of the conference, it's in the third staging, right? This year is going to be third.
Yeah, this is the
third staging.
Yeah, this is the third staging of it. I mean, the reason why we did it, this is a thing that has a genre that has given me so much. It has definitely changed my life and changed the trajectory of my family's life, And having a platform like I have, it's a platform that I can use to give back. Absolutely. And one of the things that we really need more so than anything else is knowledge,
Yes.
So much of our creatives over the years, when it is all said and done, man, and your 15 minutes of fame is over, then you really have to sit down and do inventory and realize that your T's weren't crossed and your I's weren't dotted.
Right.
And then you sit down and you're in sorrow, and then you find a lot of them being bitter throughout
Yes.
the years, out of
Yeah.
mistakes that they have made, and a lot of it is based on ignorance because they just didn't know. And I have also felt to that. I'm a savage in so many ways that I'm going, I'm not going to stay down. I come back up again and keep moving.
Right.
And but I've gotten hit with that also myself, so I know how it feel. And not everybody is going to have the willpower like I have to really go ahead and say, oh, listen, I'm going to go back into the trenches. Some people get discouraged by knowing that they put certain amount of work, and out of that, they go into depression and
Mm-hmm.
having anxiety and all of them type of things. So
Yeah.
the best way to do is to get to a place where you can understand it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's easier now. I always say, back in the days, we had
Oh,
to
it was
read.
hard in your time, man.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, we had
Yeah.
to basically read a book called Everything You Want to Know About the Music Business. That was the main thing that was out there.
Mm-hmm.
But no, you can really get information just on the internet. The tutorials, even on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
That you can go to learn. And somebody bring you a contract, you can literally go on there. They have AI lawyers now that you can go on to help you.
Right.
It just maneuver your way through some of these contracts and some of these lawyer
Right.
gibberish, you know, for you to get by. So this conference is just a conference to really open that to you and let you understand it. It's also a place for great connections. We're
Yeah.
bringing in some wonderful um, movers and shakers in the industry.
I know
And
last year had some heavy hitters. I'm
Mhm.
I'm quite intrigued to see how you're keeping up the last year. Who are some of the people that are going to be on the platform this year? What are some of the areas that are going to be tackled this year as well?
Well, there's a lot going on.
Mm-hmm.
We have first of all, we're starting off with the executive chairman's cocktail dinner, which that will be on the February 19th. On the 20th, we have Island Vibe Showcase. And
Mm-hmm.
on February 21st, Skills on Steel, which will be like a sound clash, with different DJs. Because what a lot of
Oh,
people don't understand is, radio is one thing, but, a lot of the radio, as far as the major radio stations, are controlled by the majors,
yeah.
so is Spotify, and so is a lot of these playlists. What is
Mm-hmm.
not controlled by the majors is your DJs.
That's true.
And so your local DJs are the persons that you should have a relationship with. You should be supporting, and
Mm-hmm.
you should be actually giving them your music so they can actually move your music forward and get it to the masses. And when it starts from the street, it is more organic that way. you
Funny
know
you should say that, Shaggy, because recently we've been seeing that shift where actually a lot of the newcomers in the business
Mhm.
they are actually acting out like they don't even need the DJs. Because back in your time, the particular time, the minimum time, that was
Mhm.
song clash, song system was a really big thing,
Yeah.
and that's how
Well, they have
you
it wrong.
needed.
If they're going that direction, they have it wrong.
Okay, well, I'm
Because
glad they're getting
because
it from you.
because you can put up your stuff on SoundCloud and you will reach certain people here and there, but you got to remember that you putting up, there's probably 10,000 more that is putting it up at the same time.
Right.
Getting some, and what you'll find is, like, for instance, you might find a song that does well on TikTok, but it doesn't go further than that.
Right.
It becomes viral and dies.
Yeah.
But if you have something that starts organically with the people, what I mean,
Mhm.
within the clubs and within the streets, from its organic, it will actually, go around and last a little longer. So I still think that your DJs are the very most important people that you should be. It's just that sometimes DJs have less outlet because nightclubs are shutting down now, but you
Yeah.
still have street dances and you still have parties, and people are always gonna want to do all of that.
Yes.
One of our keynote Brandon Bashki,
Hmm.
um, drug and the entertainment business, will be there, which is everybody know him from Canada as Specs the Boss. He'll be,
That's right.
yeah. um Spinning negativity, and staying on board. Darwin Guard, he's
Oh,
gonna be there on February 20th. YouTube, they have the YouTube session also that is going to be happening on that day. you know um the digital and economy,
ah,
that whole part is Latrice Burnett, from United Masters, and she'll be there, and um, Yvonne Mullings from Jamins, and Kevin Barton also will be on that. Then you have Young Artist Dilemma, Zach Jones, Matthew Malcolm, and Ame. That would be on, and of course, they're having the keynote speakers.
Mhm.
The Grammy conversation will also be with Len Brown and Ashley Thomas and Brittany Parsley from for the Grammys. So you have
Ah,
all these events that are happening. Stacey Barth, who's an incredible songwriter, Damon Doc Johnson. All these guys will be also on the if far the deal versus the distribution deal.
okay. Okay.
You
Okay.
figure between the type of deals that you can have,
Mhm.
music numbers and the games. Donovan Watkins, Tanya Lawson. So you have people like that will be there. How the styles evolve, um, radio conversation and radio. Getting globally played. How
Mhm.
you go about that and how you maneuver yourself. Live or dead performances. You have Shawnee B will be there, and Ken Reagan and Dance Reclaim Europe. That's also a
Ah,
conversation to also have, when
yeah.
films and music meet. So there's so many different things that we're doing. Of course, you do have the songwriters workshop also
Bookshop.
that is still
Right.
going. So all these conversations once they start, people kind of get into the conversation. Touring is another big part of it. Actually having conversation about touring from legacy artists, and how they can maneuver themselves and how they can keep their costs and their expense down.
Ah,
um, Technology has changed a lot of things. You go out here, see somebody like a Billie Eilish. She has her brother and she has a drummer, and that's it. You know, uh, there's Ableton and Pro Tools that put up the rest of it, and the artists. You got to understand that the audience really don't care who's playing a keyboard or a drum behind you. They pay to see one person. They pay to see the artist. You know,
right.
so all you have to do is make your show be presentable and really entertaining, and then you can get by. So it's a lot of these conversations to have, and we're going to have them and
But you
get
got
people.
to know how to, Chaggy. You have to know how to. Even then, you have to strike the balance because maybe a conversation like that now gets the musicians, the real musicians,
Mhm.
scared because they're thinking, okay, then we are now replaceable, so there's not going to be anything for us to do anymore. So you got to still find that fine tuned
Yeah,
balance.
you also have to remember, that. You also have to remember that, when restaurant did open, people never stop cook.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm saying so. You'll all have places for musicians because musicians are going to be needed to the different genres of music, different category of music. It
Okay.
all depends on what works for your audience. You know.
Right.
No, we're not
But is
saying
that
that.
is that is
We're
that
not saying.
also
Well, we're not saying that you're going to eliminate them totally.
no?
If
I'm
you
saying
have
this
the
too.
budget for that,
Yeah,
say
you
you
can
have
you can do that.
exactly, you can
But
do.
also, but is it now? So if people are going to be looking in that direction now, Shaggy, is it also time now for to have a conversation with the musicians themselves so that they can know that you could start having conversation with the musicians or no, so that they can also understand there's other avenues. Because if they're just looking in that direction as a musician, well, I could only be useful if I'm playing in a band on a stage with an artist, and now there's like you said, there's different avenues where a musician will always be needed. So maybe it's a conversation. Maybe in the future, as we move along, maybe not this time, but as we move along to probably
Mhm.
enlighten or them as well and give them some sort of
There's so many things that
direction.
musicians can do.
I
You don't you
know,
don't you don't you don't have to be behind a stage. You don't even
right,
have to tour. You can learn a job in doing soundtracks. You can learn a job in doing scoring. You can learn a job in doing. I know somebody that plays on a video game and makes a ton of money by just playing
wow,
the music behind on the video games. This music is involved in everything. It's just you have to be diverse.
right,
You can't just look at one way and say I really need to be a player of instrument behind a band and go on tour. I know people who
right.
stay home and just go and create on their keyboards and whatever it is in their studio, and it's out there to television,
Right.
and
And,
and it
and here comes Island Music
and
Conference
publish it.
because I guess I'm
Yeah,
thinking that is all of the areas in which, like you said, industry players get to really, really hone into their skills and look at all the different platforms available to them,
yeah,
in which that they can explore. And I think you really had insight. You and your team had insight, in deciding that we really need something of that sort to really guide our
absolutely.
people as well. Funny that you should mention. the earlier you mentioned about person artists and musicians and we getting into the things and don't understand it. I mean, just today I came across and it was in your place. I'm not going to mention name, but there was a social media rant between an artist and a producer, asking you where's my money and this kind of
Yeah,
things. And then
yeah,
sometimes we don't get the fine tuning, and then when you get to, if things were in place, I guess you wouldn't have to come on the media and have to call out for your money, because you would have just presented your documents, and then you go through this
yeah.
the proper
Well,
channels.
a lot of that happened from back in the days, because that's just the way
Yeah,
business was done then, especially with
yeah.
most of the legacy artists.
Oh gosh.
It's really hard now. Their music is streaming and they cannot monetize it. The producer that they did it for is probably the one that they're monetizing it. There's not any paperwork that was done. And then you gotta be careful, because you have some lawyers who come in and say, yes, we can sue them, and they're sitting in litigations for 3 years, and the for 5 years, and the statute of limitation is three, and you still lose, and the lawyer just suck up all the money.
All your money.
So
Oh
you
gosh.
have to be very, very careful on how you maneuver in this game.
And like I said, I'm going to say it again. Why it's important to ensure that you attend the Island Music Conference, because the spectrum of all of the things that you mentioned is so broad.
Hmm.
The areas in which topics in which are covered is quite extensive, and someone could only benefit
Yes, and
a tremendous amount.
even
Yeah.
publishing is a big, big part of it. The people who understand certain levels of publishing, certain types of publishing. You know,
Hmm.
um, you have your writer share, and you have the master share, and it's sitting down and figure out the difference between a co-publishing and an admin deal. It's two different things. It's things like that you have to sit down and come to the conference and learn how your publishing is your pension.
Absolutely.
Your publishing is what you can, and people don't know that you can borrow on your publishing. You can basically create a deal to where you can probably even sell it out with a reverse sell it with a reversion.
Oh,
You can give it to you can sell it to another one of the big majors, or even hedge fund people, and they'll give millions of dollars for it, and it reverts back to you in 15 years, in 20 years, and they monetize it within that time. That money that you have, that you get from you get, say you get 10-15 million dollars, you can basically put that in a portfolio across any of your financial institution, and actually borrow on a credit line with a low interest loan,
wow.
to actually do whatever it is, buy out a real estate, create more catalog, do whatever it is you can do with that kind of money. I mean, there's
Absolutely.
ways to go around it, but if you don't know, you don't know until
You
you
don't
come here,
know
you understand.
until you understand it's a lot to understand.
Yeah,
But when you do understand it, it can be
but
quite
not
fruitful
only
as
that,
well.
we have opportunities where, if you don't understand, you can sit with some of these speakers right after, and
Yeah,
they
yeah,
can break it
they're
down.
right there available to you as
Yeah,
well,
they'll
isn't it?
break it down, and everybody can come to me and ask me. I have, after this conference, after every single chat, you always see a bunch of people come up to me and have a conversation and say, "Okay, I didn't understand this. Could you explain this to me? What about this?"
Uh,
And I sit down and just go through it with them and have the conversation.
Wonderful. No, I think now what we should be discussing is how it is that people can be a part of it. How can
Well,
they attend?
it is from the 19th to the 23rd, I think.
Hmm.
It's going to be in Jamaica. You can go at imc.com, islandmusicconference.com, and get all the information, figuring out how you can get on board. And I think you can just take it from there. And
Absolutely.
if where there's a will, there's a way. So if you're inquiring and want to be a part of it, you will be a part of it. One thing, you
Absolutely.
carry the donkey to the water, you can't make him
Can
drink
make
it.
it drink. That is so
So
true. Just before you go, touch a little bit on the chairman's the executive or the exclusive
chairman's
chairman's
dinner.
dinner.
Yeah, the chairman's
That's
dinner
the
is really
chairman's dinner
kind
for
of it's
yourself.
really kind of a welcome dinner for
Okay.
all the people that come. It's normally it's really just a dinner and a bashment, but it's an opportunity where people who are just flying into the island for the conference really get to kind of smooch and meet each other. You might find a person who is a new executive at Warner, where people have heard their name but never met them before, but they're at the conference, and it's kind of a way to just kind of make connections and do networking. So that's what the chairman's dinner is really all about.
Wonderful. Shaggy, we're looking forward to the future of IMC. I mean, it's off to a good start. No, man, it's
Thank
off
you.
to a really remarkable start. And you know what? This is so vital for the industry, and the more people understands and get wind of it and realize this is and I mean, I'm talking about when I think and hear about the kind of resources you're pulling
Mhm.
in there and bringing it right to us in the Caribbean sphere.
Yeah.
I think it's brilliant, and I think every industry player who is serious about the industry, it's about the business of the craft, should find an opportunity, including myself. I have to try to get some time off and try to
Yeah.
come to the conference
Well, you
sometime.
know, I mean, you're on radio. At some point you're gonna, probably
Yeah,
branching off into doing your own podcast,
absolute.
or
Yes,
creating your own YouTube channel, something that you can monetize, or create a whole different entity. You might have this show, but you can probably do something else under a different brand and
absolutely.
create with you and someone else. You know what I mean, and have multiple revenue streams. You know
And
what I
that's
mean?
true. And I
So
can do
there's
enough that in IMC in it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's just diversifying yourself and figuring out, what you can do, and not putting yourself in a box.
Absolutely. Shaggy, an honor, always is an honor. Your wisdom is
Give
up
thanks, man.
there, and it's is respected on all levels. So thank you again for
Yeah, man.
making yourself available to flourish us with the information. I know the creatives were listening, they're tuned in, and you might just have a contingent from St. Lucia on the way up to IMC
Oh,
to
St.
stand with
Lucia
rubbing guy.
always support every year, man. So we love
Absolutely.
them, and it's one of my favorite islands. So big up St. Lucia all the while. All right.
That's right. Look, somebody start Mr. Lover Lover. Different capacity. You can't run from it though. But
Yeah,
thank you
man.
so much again. And until next time we link up.
Yeah, man.
All the
Bless up.
best.
All the best.
Blessings.
Give
Yeah,
thanks.
absolutely. That is it. That is it. Yeah. So I hope you guys got the information that you needed, because listen, all you were bombarded me with a lot of questions, and I didn't have the full answer. So I think it was wonderful. It was actually vital to have Shaggy come on board and to really break it down, as to what happens there. And he knows the language. He understands from that standpoint what it is that you people need to be looking for, what you should be aware of, and how it is that the people that he has curated to bring into that space, is aligned to getting you in tune with everything that you need to be in tune with, to be able to maximize on your craft. I mean, I think this is really, really a wonderful thing, and I can't wait to see what the future of that brings. I think I don't already go on my husband say, Shaggy, we had to have an island music conference in all the islands, just so like keep oil and like island hop with it with the conference. And that's a huge thing right there. And I hoping that creatives, and the creative industries and stuff within the different countries is actually getting wind of this, and capitalizing, looking to capitalize on it, because it's a good one. It's a big one. It's a huge one. All right. Well, let me tell you what, we gotta make sense and say big up Mr. Lover Lover. Of course, Ibarra, let me tell you. You think it is easy? Anyways, guys, that's we're gonna have to wrap up for now. We've got 3 more minutes, and then at the top 5 o'clock, well, you already know what time it is. We got a half hour with the compliments of Legacy. Legacy's on tomorrow. Rupi, Alison Hines, Sly, Robbie, Manchus, Alpha, Invader, Shanti. Did I say Shanti? Well, yeah, you all already know what time it is, but that's it. We coming back in